New York City, the city that never sleeps, is more than just a place. It's an architectural wonderland, a colossal fusion of history, art and innovation. But do you ever wonder, what secrets lie behind the buildings that define the skyline of this modern-day metropolis? Today, we embark on a journey through time to uncover the story of New York's architecture, from its humble beginnings to the towering marvels of today. What role did these structures play in shaping the destiny of this city? Let's dive deep into the history of New York's architecture and discover the hidden stories they hold. Before the skyscrapers and neon lights, before the steel and glass, New York was a colonial outpost, a small trading town called New Amsterdam. Its buildings were simple, unassuming, and yet they laid the foundation for the grandeur that would follow. The Dutch settlers who arrived in the early 1600s brought with them a style of architecture that was practical yet robust. Wooden houses with steep roofs dotted the streets, and the city began to take shape. The Dutch influence can still be seen in some of the early buildings that survive to this day, such as the Castle Clinton, a fort originally built to defend the city, now housing remnants of New York's early history. But it was the arrival of the British in the late 1600s that marked the beginning of formal urban development. The Georgian style began to take hold, bringing symmetry, brick facades and imposing structures that reflected the power of the empire. By the time the 18th century came to a close, New York was transforming. The streets were no longer filled with wooden shacks. They began to shimmer with elegant federal-style buildings. These structures, with their tall rectangular facades, simple yet refined lines and grand entrances, were the embodiment of a new nation, confident, structured and poised for greatness. One prime example is Federal Hall, the site where George Washington took the oath of office as the first president of the United States. These buildings were more than just structures. They were symbols of the nation's ideals and aspirations. As the city grew, so did its ambitions. The 19th century brought waves of immigrants, each contributing to New York's evolution. This was an era of invention, and the city began to show it in every corner. The Industrial Revolution spurred the growth of steel and iron, which led to the construction of New York's first skyscrapers. The skyline that once stood low and humble was now reaching for the heavens. Then came the moment that changed everything, the birth of the skyscraper. With the completion of the Woolworth Building in 1913, New York proved that nothing was impossible. Standing tall at 792 feet, the Woolworth Building was dubbed the Cathedral of Commerce, symbolizing the city's dominance in the world of finance and industry. The 20th century ushered in a golden age of architectural experimentation. From the sleek, glass-clad skyscrapers like the Empire State Building to the bold, geometric designs of the UN headquarters, New York became the canvas for groundbreaking architecture. With the Art Deco movement, the city experienced an architectural renaissance, glamorous, bold and full of daring designs. But not all changes were driven by aesthetics. The city faced challenges: economic downturns, urban decay, and the need for revitalization. Yet New York's architecture constantly adapted, constantly innovating. The One World Trade Center, rising from the ashes of tragedy, is not only a beacon of resilience, but also a symbol of how architecture can reflect the strength of a city and its people. Today, New York's architectural landscape is a blend of the old and the new, where every corner holds a story. From the historic Brooklyn Bridge, which once connected two separate worlds, to the sleek, modern Hudson Yards, the city's skyline has evolved into a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Yet, as we look around, we can still see the echoes of New York's past. The city's architecture in all its forms is a living museum, a place where the stories of yesterday meet the promises of tomorrow. But one question remains. As New York continues to grow, what will the next chapter in its architectural journey look like? From wooden houses to soaring skyscrapers, The history of New York's architecture is not just about buildings, it's about the dreams, struggles and victories of those who created them. It's a story that mirrors the city itself, endlessly evolving, endlessly captivating. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. And remember, in the world of architecture, nothing is ever truly set in stone.